Hi, my name is Jennifer Campbell. Thanks for attending today's session. I'm from the Online Learning Department. My primary role at the college is to support faculty to use the tools they need to teach. Today I'm going to talk about Blackboard. Blackboard is a learning management system. We use Blackboard at Tulsa Community College to deliver both online courses and to create a space for those teaching face-to-face courses to store digital documents, post class assignments, record grades, and use other online tools such as those to collect student assignments and to give tests. All courses at TCC have a course shell in Blackboard. The sites are there and ready for you to use now. I'm going to show you a Blackboard course site so that you can see some of the features that are available for you to engage your students. I might or might not. I'm going to go into a class that I taught this past summer. I'm going to click the student preview button so you can see things exactly like a student does. It's similar to the way the instructor views things, but a few less options. So when you get into a class site, you're on the announcements page. And on the announcements page, it's helpful to post ongoing regular announcements that orient students to what they should be doing and what's coming up. In my summer class, I posted at least 2 times a week, giving students the directions that they need to stay oriented to the weekly assignments. You can see that I told them what they need to do to get started, and then I told them when their exams are. Here's an outline of materials that they needed to complete during a given week. Students especially like Blackboard in a face-to-face class when the instructor takes the time to post important announcements. In this class site, you can see that I have links to the course syllabus and the course schedule. And these are helpful to students, particularly if they need the document at a time when they don't have their print copy. So maybe you handed out a print copy in class, but the student doesn't have it with them. They can always log in, even on their phone, to Blackboard and get the document. So lecture notes, assignment directions, syllabus schedules, things like that are very helpful to post in Blackboard as content. You also have options in Blackboard to create places for students to submit assignments. When a student submits an assignment online, they can go into Blackboard and confirm that the assignment was submitted. You as the instructor can go into your grade book and you can open the assignment, you can make comments directly on the assignment, you can provide feedback and a score. If you need to, you can download the assignment and make more detailed comments using Microsoft Word and upload those comments back to the student, or you can even print the assignment if you needed to. Testing is popular with students. If you're teaching in a classroom, you might find that you want to give quizzes once in a while to make sure that students are grasping foundational content. So sometimes a low stakes or a quiz worth few points are helpful to students to make sure that they're grasping the materials. And I'll show you a quiz. The student goes into the class site, clicks on the links to the quiz, and begins the quiz. And they read the question and can answer. And they would go on and answer every question. When they finished, they can click Save and Submit. And depending on how the feedback is set up, they can view the results immediately. In this case, they submitted late because we had a deadline on that, but they can view their feedback. And they can see the selected answer and the correct answer because that's what I set up for them. And they can go to their student gradebook, and in this case the quiz was submitted late, so they would just see the needs grading icon, and that's because I as the instructor have to accept that late assignment. They can click on the link to the quiz and click on the calculated grade, which in this case is the explanation point. And again, they can get back to that view where they see the questions. And this can be helpful as they're studying for exams. You also have the option of creating discussions. I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do to get started as an instructor. You have a booklet called that Academic Campus Services gave you. I think it's called Tooltips. And you should have it in front of you. And I'd like you to follow along while we create an announcement together, just so that you get an idea of how easy it is to submit things, to create items in Blackboard. So go to Announcements, and I'm going to have to get out of my preview mode. So I'm back as an instructor, and now I have a Create Announcement button. I click the Create Announcement button, and I can type hello. Spell that right. And I can type whatever I need to in the message box. And then I can either leave it as not date restricted, which would mean the announcement would post immediately, or I could select date restricted, in which case I could select the date that I want the announcement to become visible to students. If I use the not date restricted option, I can click the button to send a copy of the announcement immediately, and the message will go to the student's MyTCC email address. Another thing that I want to show you is how to create a grade column in the gradebook. And to do this, I go on the left side under Course Management down to the Control panel, to the Full Grade Center. And again, let's look at your booklet on page, whatever page it is. And let's create a Grade Center column together. I click Create Column. I name the column. I'm going to name mine Example. And the only other thing that I have to add here is the points possible. In this case, I'll add 100. The other columns are optional. I click Submit. And the column is created at the end of my gradebook. If I want to enter grades for a student, I click on the cell and I just type the grade. Alrighty. After I type the number, I click enter. Your gradebook may not have a color scheme like mine does. I set that up through my Manage button and grading color schemes. I'm going to delete that column as it doesn't need to be in this course. So you might be wondering how a course gets on the Blackboard system. Schools assign the class using the banner system. Once a school assigns the class to Banner, you can immediately see the class on Banner by logging into MyTCC. You log into MyTCC and then you click on the employee link and faculty. And you can click on links to see view assigned final grades. You can click on faculty detail list, which will show you all the classes that are assigned to you. You can click on the links to the list and see the enrollments for the class. So every few hours, MyTCC synchronizes with Banner. So MyTCC is the most up-to-date. So question, what is your definitive source about what course you've been assigned to and what students are enrolled in your course? Right, you go to MyTCC to see your official course schedule and enrollment list. If Blackboard is showing something different than MyTCC, you should come back and check Blackboard in a few hours. If there continues to be a discrepancy, it's time to let the online learning department know, and we'll talk about the best ways to contact us in a minute. Last May, we updated our institutional page to what is known as Ultra. So if you've been a student here or taught here in the past, it may have looked different. We have the Ultra institutional page, but our classes are still the Learn view. And this is important to know because if you're looking for support through online tutorials, you need to know which version you're using. And some of our tutorials may still show the old institutional page. When you log in, I'm going to go back to Blackboard for a moment. When you log in to the institutional page, you're viewing things the way a faculty would. You also have the option to view things the way a student does. The only real difference is faculty have some tabs that students don't. The only real difference is that faculty have some links to faculty resources that students don't. And I'm going to highlight a few of them. You've got a Blackboard handouts and tutorials link that will take you to the tutorials. You've got high stakes testing options that will explain testing options for online courses. You can request a master site, which is a site that is a repository for content. So just like I said, that sites are added automatically from Blackboard, they also go away automatically from Blackboard. So we're getting ready for the fall semester, and the courses will stay on the system at least until the end of the next long semester, which would be next May. That'll give any time that students that have incompletes a chance to make those up if needed, make up the work if needed. If you have content that you want to stay on the system longer than the credit-based site is there, like let's say you are assigned a class this fall, but you don't teach the class in the spring, and you've done a lot of work in your Blackboard site, you might want to request a master site and then copy the content at the end of the fall semester into that master site. Some people find it helpful to have a master site created at the beginning of the semester, and when they create things in the credit site, they also create them in the master site, and they can make adjustments for the next time that they teach the class. So the plan would be that the master site would be the one that would be ready to go, and you would copy it from the master into the credit site the next time that you wanted to teach. If you're teaching more than one section of a class, you might find it helpful to merge the enrollments together, and then you would complete the Blackboard merge site request. And anyway, those are some of the highlights of the faculty resources page. From the institutional page, you can get to your courses by clicking on the courses link. You can use your back arrows to get back to previous semesters. You can use your up arrows to get to next semester's courses, or you're just on the current courses page. Now, when you start to get a lot of paid courses on your list, it can be kind of difficult to manage them, and so there's a few tricks. You can favorite a course, which will bring it to the top of the list by clicking the purple star. I just unfavorited a course and it went away from my list. If I wanted it back, I would come down here and click the star again, and it would turn purple and move up to the top of my list. You've got the option, right now I'm in list form. If you like it better, you can go to a tile form. In the tile form, you actually get both the course and the ID. Note that the first course is labeled private, and private means that the course is unavailable to students. It's private to just you. So you can still get in there and make changes to the courses, and you can make it available when you're ready for students to see it. On the student list, the student just sees the name of the link to the course, but it says unavailable. Private means it's private to just you. You can get in there. So to make it visible, one way to do it is to click on the ellipsis and click Open Course when you're ready, and that'll make it so that students can get in there. Another way to do it is to go into the content area of the course, and up in the upper right hand side you'll see links to make it available. There's a red lock right now. If I wanted to make it available, I would click the lock and the site would become available. When I go back, there's no more private listed there. Looking at the second course, you can see that in this view, this one says Introduction to Psychology, and then it says Online Fall 2019. And that's because I customized it. When it first came on the system, it just said Introduction to Psychology, which is fine unless you're teaching multiple sections of Introduction to Psychology, and then it can get confusing as to which section you are teaching from. So you can easily change the name, and this is described in your tooltips, by going into the course site, clicking on the control panel, clicking the customization link, and then clicking the properties link. On this page, you can change the name of the course and usually that means adding the descriptor of time or semester or day or whatever helps you be able to recognize the course on your course menu. Your students will also see that change. In this view, this tile view, we have the IDs are displayed. They are not displayed in the list view. The course ID can also help you decide what section you're in. And there's a bunch of letters and numbers on there. The first one on this psychology is an I, and that's because the course is an online course, and I stands for internet. The next 4 letters are the discipline code, so this is psychology, PSYC. The next 4 numbers are the course number. This is 1113, so this is psychology 1113. The section number is just whatever section it is. This one's 192. The 9 number indicates that it is an online class. 1 indicates it's a metro class, that the class is scheduled out of metro. If it began with a 2, it would be scheduled out of northeast, a 3 out of southeast, and a 4 out of west. The next 5-digit code is what's called a CRN, and a CRN is a unique identifier. It's very helpful to give that to the technicians if you are seeking support. Helps them find your course very easily. The next 6-digit number designates the semester code, and the college works a little differently. Right now it's fall, but we consider that the first semester of the 2020 school year. So we're in 2020-10 is fall, 2020-20 is spring of 1920, 2020-30 is summer of 2020, 2021-10 is what the semester code will be next fall, or the fall of 2020. The final number is the part of term. This is a 16-week course, so it says 16. If it were an 8-week course, it would say 8. One other thing that I wanted to talk about was notifications. When you start working in Blackboard, you are going to get notifications in your email. You can scroll to the bottom of the notifications and you can change them to whatever you desire for notifications if you're getting too many. Your students will also probably might ask you about this, and that's what you should direct them to do, is to follow the link in the email, or in Blackboard they can click on their name on the institutional page, and they will see a section where they can change their notifications there. A few questions that we get often. One is about that availability of the courses. Instructors will call and say that their courses are not available, but that we have to remind them that that means that they're not available to the students. Another is that we will get questions about, people will call and say that they can't people will call and say that they can't add content to their course, and often it is because edit mode has gotten turned off, and sometimes it just gets turned off by the system and you just have to turn it back on. And edit mode on is what allows you as an instructor to add content. If it's off, you will not be able to add anything through the course menu. A third thing that we often get is people will call and say that the display looks wrong. And what's happened is the resolution on the computer has changed, and because Blackboard has a responsive design, the menu will change just like it does if you are displaying on a phone. It has to collapse itself. So what happens is you get this purple banner up at the top, and to get back to the institution page, you have to click on these 3 lines. Your course menu is collapsed, and you have to click on the course menu to get that menu to show. And it just, it looks different. It's doing its best to display properly, but it confuses instructors. So when I go to information, it just looks different. So what you can do to get your old view back is you can depress the control key on your keyboard and the minus sign, and that will lower the resolution. Or I guess make it higher, whatever it is. Now, because it did collapse itself, the menu collapsed, you have to click on this arrow down here on the left side that you don't see until your mouse is hovering over it. You click and your menu comes back. So to contact us if you need any support, it's best to send a note to bbsupport@tulsacc.edu, and you can ask your question. We are the contact people for Blackboard. Other technical problems you can send to Call 2000. You can call them at 918-595-2000. But for us, you can send a note to bbsupport@tulsacc.edu, and you can describe your issue in an email. If it's something that we can answer quickly in an email, we will do that. If you would prefer to talk to us, then send us an email. Let us know how to best contact you. If you need to meet with a technologist in person, let us know when you might be available. We're at Metro Campus, but it might be possible for us to meet you at another campus if that was a need. And we're happy to work with you. Thank you.